Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to start with some gentle twisting poses and we're going to progress to Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, the revolved lateral angle pose. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's start in Adho Mukha Virasana, the downward facing hero pose. So have your bricks ready. Set yourself so you've got big toes touching, knees apart. If knees are problematic, it's really difficult to draw the buttocks back to the heels. Perhaps you can put a blanket here between heels and the buttocks. Maybe you even pull the blanket right into that knee crease. Maybe you put a bolster there between heels and buttocks. Depends on your knees. But the knees are wider than the hips. They're almost the width of the mat. We don't need to take them any wider than the mat. Hands on blade-shaped bricks, and we have the hands shoulder width apart. Let's stretch forward. So as we come forward, just watch that the hips and the tailbone don't lift up with you. So even if your buttocks can't reach back to your heels, can you direct your tailbone down? So you're bringing in a gentle rounding, a gentle flexing to the spine. Buttocks back and down as much as you can, tailbone down. Now from this forward bend, we're going to go sideways. So can you walk your bricks, your hands on your bricks over to the right side? So no longer are the bricks on the mat. They're off the mat to the right side. Turn your left armpit chest around. So left side chest moving around towards the right inner leg as you slide the bricks forward. Keep the hips, particularly that left hip, descending. And then walk the hands through the midline, across to the left side. The hands are still shoulder width apart. Then can you sweep that right armpit chest around towards the inner left leg and roll the outer right hip down. So here we can feel the back of the right waist lengthen and broaden. And back through to the midline. One more forward bend here. Then come up. We're going to keep the legs as they are. So if what we did then is called Parsva Adho Mukha Virasana, the side downward facing hero pose. Now we do Parivrtta Adho Mukha Virasana, the revolved downward facing hero pose. So let's put a brick here for the head. So we've got a flat brick, then we've got a tall brick on the right side. The right hand is on the tall brick. We feed the left arm through between the knees and the bricks. So you come onto the back of the left shoulder, onto the side of the head, the left side of the head. You press the right hand into the tall brick, peel the elbow tip up. So watch your elbows not dragging down. Elbow tip up will help to open that right side chest. So as you push down into the brick, use that to help pivot the torso and feel into the left side of the back, broadening the muscle fibers from the spine down the left side of the back towards the floor as you sweep the left armpit chest forward and around towards the inner right leg. And then we come up and let's take the tall brick to the left hand's on the tall brick. Feed the right arm between the knees and the bricks. You come onto the back of the right shoulder and you rest the right side of the head on your flat brick. And as you press the left hand into your brick, peel the left elbow tip up, rotate the left chest up towards the ceiling and feel into that right side of the back. So you're broadening the right side of the back. Feel the muscle fibers there from the spine, broaden down towards the floor. Sweep the right armpit chest around towards the inner left thigh. And then you can make your way up to sit. We're going to move to sitting in Virasana now. So let's use our brick between the knees. Knees together, thighs together, but then you can have your brick. Now, perhaps a blade-shaped brick will suit you depending on your knees. Maybe you actually need more height. Maybe you need a flat brick and a blade-shaped brick. maybe sitting in Virasana is not for you, in which case you could potentially sit on a chair for this next pose. But if possible, you have some kind of brick set up there between the feet, between the ankles, so that the buttocks can come to sit down on your bricks. Keep this as a compact pose so that there's no gap between the heels and the outer hips and thighs. There can be a brick behind you, so particularly if you're sitting up on height, it's good to have some height for your hand to reach back to when you come into a twist. So let's establish ourselves here in an upright position, and then twist to the right, so your left hand can come across to that right thigh, right hand to the brick behind you, and you pivot. Now, as you pivot, the tendency is to jam that right shoulder blade into the spine and shorten and harden the right side of the back. See if you can relax there, not so much of the jamming, and focus more on what's happening on the left side of the body. So can you broaden the muscle fibers here from the spine around towards the side body as you turn? And turning the head as well, getting some rotation in the neck, but don't just shorten the right side of the neck. Can you keep both sides of the neck the same length? Then come out of the twist and we go to the other side. So right hand to the left knee, left hand to the brick behind you, pivot. So as you're rotating the torso, again, watch the tendency for this. Now it's the left shoulder to, yes, it rolls back, but are you jamming the shoulder blade in towards the spine too strongly? Create some space between the shoulder blade and the spine, and then feel into the right side of the back. So you want to broaden those spinal muscles away from the spine, around towards the side body as you turn. And then when you're turning the head, commonly we see the left side of the neck shorten, right side of the neck lengthen. Can you try and keep the sides of the neck the same length? Then come out of the twist, and we can keep that brick behind us actually, because we're going to stay in a similar position, but this time bring your right foot forward, just like we were sitting in Marichyasana, only we've still got the left leg in Virasana. Catch the shin, sit straight, and then turn to the right. So again, you can reach back to your brick. So now as you're holding the shin with the left hand, you're pulling on the shin and broaden the left side of the back as you pivot the torso. Make sure you're lifting up through the lumbar spine and use that lift to go all the way up through to the crown of the head. Now come out of the twist, bring your right leg back into Virasana, step your left foot forward, so the left leg's as if we're in Marichyasana. Hold the shin with the right hand, and as you turn the torso, keep the lift here through the top of the sacrum, the lumbar spine, turn, reach your left hand to the brick behind you, and then broaden that right side of the back. See if you can feel the muscle fibers spread around towards the sides of the body as you turn. And then come out of the twist. Now we come off our brick into Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose. So we're kneeling with the buttocks on the heels. Again, we can have our bricks here behind us ready. We might need one brick. Let's see how we go. I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see what I'm doing with my left foot. So to prepare for the next pose, I'm going to step my right foot forward just like we did, and then I want to kink my left ankle so that my left buttock is on my heel and my right buttock is on the ball of the foot. Now, if that's really difficult, you can't get that same kink, you can use your brick here under the right buttock. Perhaps you need to wedge a blanket in here as well between the heel and the buttock. So that's what we're doing with our base foot. And then once we've got that position with the left foot, we see if we can step the right foot over the left thigh. So we want to establish ourselves in an upright position, lift your chest and twist to the right. Now, you can use your brick. Maybe you're feeling better with the fingertips on the floor behind you, but you revolve. And again, you want to feel left side of the back is broadening And perhaps you can go further and hook your left elbow behind that outer right leg. So we're in Ardha Matsyendrasana. And then we can come out of the twist and come back through Vajrasana, Thunderbolt pose. And let's step the left foot forward like Marichyasana. Kink the ankle so that you're sitting the right buttock on the right heel, left buttock on the ball of the foot. And potentially you can then step your left foot over the right thigh. You can hold the shin, sit up straight. If you're wobbly, you could always use a brick here underneath that outer left hip or under the left buttock itself. Turn to your left, pivot the torso, broaden the right side of the back. Then if you feel you can go further, hook your elbow behind the outer leg, push against the leg and pivot further into the twist. Broaden the right side of the back. And release. Let's come into Adho Mukha Virasana again, but this time we'll rest, not stretching forward the bricks under the hands, but relaxing the forehead down on the forearms. As you're ready, come to sit up and we'll move on to the next pose. Let's have our bricks. We'll bring them to the front of the mat. Step your right foot forward, left leg back. So you're coming into a lunging position. Right knee is vertically top the ankle. Lengthen your torso forward. Now, you can potentially lower that brick. Feel free to keep it blade shape, but perhaps a lower brick works for you. And just feel here that your body is directed forward. So crown of the head directing forward. Right hand can then come onto your waist and start to pivot. Turn away from the floor. Watch this right knee doesn't go out to the right and watch your torso doesn't go out to the left. See if you can keep them in the same plane as the midline of your mat. Now again, think about the left side of the body. Broaden the left side of the back down towards the floor. And then come out of that and let's swap legs. Left leg forward. So again, you're in your lunging position with the knee vertically top your ankle, chest forward. And then you can potentially flatten that brick there on the right side so the palm can come down onto your brick. And remember, you want to keep the knee and the torso in the midline of the mat. When you start to twist, left hand on the waist, just watch how your left knee might want to go off to the left and your torso might want to pull back to the right. See if you can contain them within the midline of the mat. Broaden the right side of the back down towards the floor. And then come out of the twist. I'm going to state the obvious. I don't know that I'll be able to edit out the sound of the band rehearsing next door, so it's there, it's in the background. If we just have to deal with it. We're going to do one more variation where we're trying to come more into the complete version of Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, the revolved lateral angle pose. So let's come forward again. Right leg forward, left leg back. Now we can use our bricks. Perhaps you've got your brick there, the flat brick now in line with the outer right foot. I'll just put this brick forward so you can see. Now I'm going to lift the torso up enough that I can hook my elbow behind the leg. And perhaps this is where you stay. But if you can go a little further, you slide the top part of the back of that upper arm more behind the leg. So slide the arm down. You're going to turn the body more and more to the left as you do that. Perhaps a hand comes down to your brick. Maybe you can go even further, in which case you're completely closing the gap between the body and the leg, and your hand can come down to the floor. Right hand on the waist and you turn. Watch that you're not curling around, curling your head towards the left leg. See that the crown of the head points forward. Perhaps you can straighten that back leg. Press the shin bone up. Turn the right chest up. Maybe this is where you want to stay, but potentially you can take your top arm up and potentially you can take it over. As you reach over through the right fingertips, press back through the left heel. And then we come down, come out of the twist, And let's do the other side. Left leg forward. So again, we can start with our bricks here in the lunge. Left knee vertically top of the ankle, lunging the weight of the hips forward. Then maybe you like the idea of having a brick there for your hand. You can lift your torso up enough that you can hook your right elbow behind the left leg, and maybe this is where you stay. The hands can come into prayer posture, lengthening the sternum away from the navel. But if you can go further, you slide more and more the back of that upper arm down alongside the leg. So you're trying to close this gap between the torso and the thigh. And maybe reaching the brick is possible, but maybe you can go even further. Maybe the hand can come down. And again, just watch you're not curling around as if to look towards your back foot. Can you lengthen the crown of the head forward the same direction that the right toes are facing? Perhaps you can straighten that back leg, press the right shin bone up, turn the left chest up, and maybe the arm can reach up, and potentially it can reach further over. As much as you're reaching through the left fingertips, you press back through the right heel. And then let's release and come out of the pose. And we'll rest in Adho Mukha Virasana with the forearms here for the forehead. When you're ready, you can come to sitting. Let me know how you went with that practice today. Put some comments down below what you found accessible, perhaps what was challenging. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy practicing with me, I invite you to check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. There are over 400 videos in that library, and I'm adding new classes to it every week. I invite you to check it out with a 7-day free trial. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.